I'm gonna fly like an eagle to the sea. What's going on, gang? I'm Viper.
I'm Rumpo.
And we are Fireteam Hooligan of BattleChatterOnline.com. Welcome to this, another edition of the Prima Games Tactical Tune-Up. Now, as most of you know, we have covered a variety of the mini vehicles found in Battlefield 3 and its subsequent expansions throughout this series so far. But recently, we realized that we have failed to cover one of the most common vehicles found in the game, the Scout Chopper. Now, the helicopter's initial design can be traced back to the great Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci, but I'm sure even he had no idea that it would one day become one of the most valuable assets utilized by militaries around the globe. In fact, we believe that the Scout Chopper may just be one of the most versatile vehicles found in the entire Battlefield 3 arsenal. It has many uses, both as a transport vehicle and as a formidable offensive vehicle. And since Rumpo is the official Hooligan chopper pilot, it's only fitting that he be the one to explain to everybody the benefits of the Battlefield 3 Scout Chopper.
Well, Viper, it's absolutely no surprise to anyone who has visited our personal YouTube channel that I love the Scout Chopper. The Scout Chopper in Battlefield 3 is broken down into two separate choppers. Obviously, like any vehicle, you have the American and Russian versions. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of my resume here so that when I speak of the Scout Chopper, you don't think that I'm some guy who just doesn't understand it. I am ranked in the top 4% of players with the Z-11W Scout Chopper, top 6% of players with the AH-6J Little Bird. I have a total of 2,839 kills between the two choppers, and I have spent 2 days, 4 hours, and 23 minutes inside of these vehicles. Now, I believe personally that they are the best vehicles that we have in Battlefield, with their ability to move quickly, with their ability to engage air targets and ground targets alike. I think that gives them a versatility which is unmatched. So let's go ahead and get started with what I like to call the perks of the Scout Chopper, and it's broken down into 3 categories. You have Basic, which is an upgrade of either stealth, belt speed, proximity scan, air radar, or maintenance. Then you have your gadget, and your options there are IR flares, the extinguisher, or the ECM jammer. And lastly, you get a weapon perk, and that is broken down between heat seekers and a guided missile. My personal preference is to equip belt speed as my upgrade because it decreases the amount of time between firing bursts with my main weapon. This is what I like to call a more boom equals more doom. For my gadget, I prefer IR flares over the ECM jammer. The ECM jammer is primarily used to break the lock-on of heat seekers, stingers, iglas, and laser designation. The IR flare is designed to distract incoming missiles, although they can at times be vulnerable to laser-guided weapons. My personal style of flying is to use my environment to break and disrupt lock-ons and my IR flares to disrupt incoming missiles when that doesn't work. When choosing a weapon, I go with a guided missile as it allows me to lock onto and fire upon ground targets. If I'm lucky enough to have a co-pilot, I can also take out air vehicles using the built-in laser designator that they control. Now, when flying a Scout Chopper, it's not all about your upgrades, your gadgets, and your weapons. It's also about having an ideal flight crew. My personal flight crew, if I get to choose, would be to have a co-pilot who can then use the built-in laser designator to spot ground targets as well as lock on to air targets. I would also like to have somebody who has a repair tool sitting in one of the seats in the back. This would allow them to repair my chopper should I take any damage from any kind of incoming fire, be it from guided weapons, heat seekers, or machine guns. Now, flying tactics also play a very large part in how long you're able to keep your chopper in the air. If I don't have to, I don't like to cross the middle point of the map. Once you get close to the enemy spawn, you're going to risk an increased amount of stingers, and those are pretty much instant death. You want to stay on your half of the map unless you absolutely have to. In terms of capture the flag in the endgame maps, if you have to go across to the enemy side of the map, you should be doing so with nothing but PTFO in mind. Do not go over there simply to get kills. It is more valuable to keep your chopper in the air even if you're not getting those kills. A chopper in the air is a threat on the battlefield at all times. A chopper on the ground is absolutely useless, and that's something that you want to keep in mind.
So there you go, the Battlefield 3 Scout Chopper. It's the weaponized workhorse vehicle of Battlefield 3. Don't forget to pick up the official Prima Games Battlefield 3 strategy guide, or you can visit primagames.com where you can purchase the official Prima Games Battlefield 3 eGuide to instantly have tons of tactical tidbits right there at your fingertips. Prima Games, strategy where, when, and how you want it. For Prima Games and everybody at Battle Chatter Online, I'm Viper.
I'm Rumpo.
We are Fireteam Hooligan of BattleChatterOnline.com. As usual, doom on you, Mr. Tango.